Yep. Can everyone see my screen?
That depends. Does your screen say solution challenge?
Yep. Awesome. Okay, thank you everyone for joining. We're going to be talking about our solution challenge event, which we're going to be starting soon, to give you a better idea of what it is, how you can start, how you can participate, what you can gain from it, and so on. So going on, let's talk about what DSC aims to gain from the solution challenges in whole. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry. Yeah, okay, so DSC aims to bridge the gap between theory and practice. So this is an opportunity for students to apply what we learn in class and put it into real practical experience that we can use in our future careers. And what is the Solution Challenge? The Solution Challenge is an annual contest among DSC communities where students build solutions for local community problems using one or more Google products or platforms. So we can use like AWS or anything else, but one requirement is we need to use at least one Google product or platform. And so what kind of projects can we work on? A few ideas that I'm just going to throw out there are a app for a food drive or a hurricane tracking app, or we can create a mentor connecting app for underprivileged kids that they can use to get in touch with a mentor. Or we can also collaborate with nonprofits and small businesses in the Tampa Bay area. One example of what we can do is we can maybe digitalize a small business that was affected by COVID. But if this is something that you are interested in doing, collaborating with a nonprofit or small business, let me know. We have a list of such organizations that we can collaborate with. And why participate in the Solution Challenge? The biggest thing is we're able to actually help our local community in such a grave time in 2020. And I think we can do so much with the technology and the skills that we have and put it to real good use. And personally, you'll be able to develop project management skills. You'll be able to develop team working and communication skills along with technical skills. And you'll be able to see what it's like to work on a project from start to finish. And there's plenty of prizes and more from DSC itself that we're going to get into in the next slide. So as for prizes, so in the competition, the Google developers, there are like around thousands of projects that are submitted. And out of those thousands of projects, the 10 winning teams are selected each year. And these teams will receive a special curated experience from Googlers to celebrate the impact of their winning solution. And they'll be able to demo their project in front of experts in the field, and you'll be able to receive feedback from them as well. And you'll get a chance to develop your project further on a much more wider scale. Next, surface stories. So the winning teams will be interviewed and their solutions will be published on Google channels. And the winners will also have to submit a demo video of about like 2 minutes. We'll get into that a little later. But if you want to take a look at some of the projects that won last year, I would suggest I'm going to give you access to the official website that you can go to, and you can take a look at the demo day from last year. And next I'm going to go over, hold up. And as for participation, all participants with qualifying submissions will receive certificates of participation. And you don't have to be a winner for this. You just have to meet the specific requirements that we'll get into in a little bit, and you'll get that the certificate of participation. And additional prizes will be announced as the contest proceeds. We don't have a clear picture of that as of right now. And let's look at the timeline of what next semester will really look like for the Solution Challenge. First, the registration will open in around the first week of January. And again, we'll talk about that in a little bit. And we will also have another Solution Challenge event around syllabus week. So look out for that invite to reiterate all of this and also answer any questions that you may have. And throughout the whole process, I think it's around 10 weeks between January and March, we'll have a few check-ins with the team leads. We'll have like bi-weekly calls just to see where everyone's at, to get a sense of each team's progress and meet deadlines so that everyone is able to submit a working project by the end of March, between March 15th and the 30th. After that, after the projects are submitted, 10 winning teams will be announced between April and May. And after that, we'll have a demo day that will be between May and June, where the winning teams will demo their projects in front of Google developers and the very people who created these technologies. And yeah, like I said, last year's demo day can be found on the DSC website. Moving on, let's look at how it works. So like I mentioned, you have to register to participate, and the registration link isn't up yet. So I would highly recommend joining our Slack channel, which I will put out the link to at the end of the event, and we will post the registration link there. And before then, we'll start forming teams. I'll actually put out the Google sheet that we'll be using at the end of this event. So we'll be forming teams. We'll be deciding on what issue your group wants to tackle, and you'll select a team lead for each group, and you'll build a solution from January to March and submit the team solution and a 2-minute demo video on how it can be used and implemented. And after that, we will celebrate at the demo day, and we will watch the demos of the winning projects. And now we'll get into the requirements and such. So who can participate? Number one, you have to be of 18 years or older. And number two, the winning team size, or the max number of team members per group, cannot exceed 4. So you can have 2 or 3 members or 4, but not 5 and above. But you can work with other people and get help from other people, but when submitting a project, only 4 people will be recognized. And another thing is, because of this virtual environment that we find ourselves in, one advantage is if you cannot find a team within USF, we can form you can find team members in other DSC chapters around the world. So that's something you can take advantage of. Next, let's go over the contest rules. So for the entry requirements, number 1, you have to address a local community problem. You have to come from a team in a university with an active DSC, which we are, and the project must be built between January 30th, that's the wrong date, but between January and March. And you have to include a link to custom code written by the members of the team submitting the entry. And you have to ensure that it is shared appropriately and is accessible. what else? One big requirement is you need to use at least one or more Google product or platform. So like I said, you can use AWS or anything else that you are comfortable with, but you need to use at least one Google technology or platform. So this can include Google Cloud, Android, Flutter, TensorFlow, Firebase, you name it. And like I mentioned earlier, you also have to include a video, a demo video that can't exceed 2 minutes. And next, let's look at the value. Oh, before that, does anyone have any questions so far? No?
I do, actually.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm a USF student, but I'm also a small business owner, and I'm also registered with the USF Student Innovation Incubator.
Mm-hmm.
And we are trying to get a project done in Flutter, and would really like to make this a project for the DSC. Like you said at the beginning that it was like nonprofits and certain small businesses. How can we be one of those certain small businesses?
Michael, that's awesome. But can you actually reach out to me personally and we could discuss that?
Sure.
Awesome. It's just I don't have the correct answer for that yet. So I reach out to me and I'll be able to answer that. Does anyone else have any other questions before I continue? Okay, awesome. Let's move on. So coming to the evaluation criteria. So like you see, it's 50 points from the impact, 40 from the technology itself, and 10 from scalability. So impact, they'll look at whether or not you have established a clear challenge faced in your local community, and it has to be explained in a clear manner. And is there evidence that the solution has been thoroughly tested with real users? Is there evidence that the solution was iterated upon based on user feedback? And is one big thing in my mind is there any evidence of a next step? Can this be applied and implemented on a much broader scale that can be used in different regions? More broader than just Tampa. And as for technology, does the solution address the challenge identified by the team? Does the solution make effective and appropriate use of the features of the chosen Google product or platform? And things like that. And like I mentioned, scalability. If successful, can the solution be scaled using the cloud technology infrastructure for more users and in other regions? So those are all things that they will be looking at when assessing your projects. And as for support plan, the resources that you have access to, number one, so when you register through the link, which I'll provide later when it becomes available, you receive an email that gives you guidance to join a website called Parthian. I don't know if anyone's aware of it, but it's an online community that was created to bring all the participants together around the world, as well as bring you together with Google mentors, who you'll be able to ask questions and they'll be able to respond and provide feedback for you throughout these 10 weeks. And it's a great resource for participants to ask questions and get feedback or guidance on their projects from fellow students around the world, as well as the mentors themselves. And moving on, as for self-paced resources, we do have a collection of these kind of resources for Solution Challenge participants to benefit from. And these can be accessed on this website. I just sent it out in the chat. So on this page, you'll find more information about the Solution Challenge, as well as last year's demo day, as I mentioned earlier. And if you navigate all the way to the bottom of the page, you'll be redirected to the resources page, where you'll find the basic 4-step framework, which we'll talk about in a minute, and also the self-paced resources that I spoke about, where you can learn Flutter, Google Assistant, Firebase, and more. And this is definitely something that you can take advantage of over this winter break for free. And just to give you an idea of what kind of resources that are there, this is the Flutter Workshop. That's a 2-part, 2-hour-long workshop that's free, like I said. And basically what you'll be able to gain from this is you will be able to integrate Google Maps to your Flutter app. You'll be able to build a photo sharing app with Google Photos and Flutter. And it'll provide you with like a good foundation which you can build on next semester. And this is another example of a workshop. This is the Google Assistant workshop, which is again a 2-part, 2-hour-long workshop, and it'll introduce you to Google Assistant. And again, this is something that you can integrate into your project, your solution challenge project. And as for an in-person resource, like I said, we will have bi-weekly calls with the team leads and the e-board to discuss each team's progress. And again, like the team's progress will be sort of the team lead will keep track of, and will be reporting it to us. And we'll have sort of broad deadlines to meet so that everyone's on track to submitting a project by the end of March. And the DSC supervisors will also jump in on these calls from time to time. So you can show them what you've been doing and how your team's been doing. And this is also we're also going to have probably like office hours with our DSC tech leads. So you can ask questions and they'll be able to help you out. Does anyone have any questions so far? Awesome. So let's discuss the solution design framework that I mentioned earlier. These videos and more can be found on that website that I just sent you guys. So we're going to be using a 4-part framework focused on solving for a specified problem to structure our support plan. So you'll see more of this as we go forward. So the first one is identifying a problem. So what we want to focus on is identifying a specific problem that you want to build a solution on, instead of finding a solution first or a technology that you want to work with first. First, identify a problem. And then next, you want to identify a solution to that problem that can then be designed into an interface. And on top of that, then you're finally going to take that and you're going to build on it using that technology, those Google products that we spoke about. Does anyone have any questions? Awesome. I would highly recommend taking a look at these videos on that website that I sent you. And what to do next. So before we register and do all of that good stuff, first, check out the official Solution Challenge website that I sent you. And number 2, sign up through our Google form and Google Sheet. Let me drop the link to that in the chat. This is the Google form. And the Google Sheet. So the Google form is just to sign up so we know who is registering and such. And the Google Sheet is if you have a team already, you can join a group together. And if not, you could just add your name under a group that has less than 4 members. So over winter break, please make sure to exchange your contact information with your group and select a team lead and mention that in the Google Sheet. There's a column for team lead. And after that, discuss project ideas and try to finalize. If you can finalize and pick one idea, that would be awesome. Or just like a handful that we can discuss when we come back in January. And take advantage of the self-paced resources and the recorded workshops from the semester. And if you'd like me to drop the YouTube channel, our YouTube channel in the chat, let me know. And that way, when we come back in January, we'll be able to answer questions and more in the event that I said we'd be having during syllabus week. And like I mentioned, we'll have bi-weekly calls with the team leads and schedule office hours with the tech leads so everyone has the resources that they need to create a project. And like I mentioned, I will drop the registration link in the Slack channel when I get access to it. So please, please, please join our Slack channel. I'm dropping, this is the link to join. So once you're registered, you register as an individual. So if you have a team already, you'd still register as an individual. And I think when registering, you have to mention the names of your team members. So it keeps track of all that on its own. And yeah, feel free to message any of the eBoard members and myself if you have any questions or need any resources along the way. That's really all I have. So if anyone else has any questions, or needs me to clarify anything, I'm all ears.
Actually, I wanted to ask that I am not able to see the chat option here.
Oh, give me 1 second.
I can't either.
That's very odd.
But in my case, it's not you. It's because I joined Teams with my company account instead of my USF account. So I'm a guest, which means I can't see the chat.
Are you all members of the Teams group that we have?
I am not.
I guess not.
No, I guess.
Yeah, I can see it.
Can you guys go ahead and join that group? I think you have to join the group to have access to the chat. I'll drop the name of the group. Oh, I guess you don't have access to the chat. It's called DSC USF 2020 to 21 group.
Like, where do we need to join it?
On
which platform?
Teams itself.
Okay.
So yeah, try doing that and let me know if you have access to the chat.
Can you repeat that once again, please?
Yeah, I'm able to access the chat now.
You're able to access the chat? Awesome. Is anyone else having trouble with it? Awesome. So
Where to search for that group?
are you on Teams?
Yes, I'm in Teams.
Or if you are on the app, there's a little page called like Teams itself. So I would go there and you can search the group.
On the left-hand panel, there is Teams. If you click on that, it'll show you on the right-hand corner, join or create a team. If you just click on that, just search for DSC USF 2020, you'll get it.
Thank you. Is anyone else having trouble with it?
Yeah. Thank you. Got it.
No problem. Does anyone have any questions? Okay. If you do think of anything, join Slack, and that way you have access to the entire eBoard, and you can directly message me if you need anything. And please, please, please make sure to sign up through the Google form and the Google Sheet. Both of them are very important. And like I said, exchange contact information and start communicating with your group, so we can start next semester and work on our projects. Yeah, that's all I have. This is a pretty quick event. Happy holidays, everyone. If you do have any questions, I'm going to stay back for a little bit, and I'll be available to answer anything. If not, feel free to head out. Thank you for joining.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi Vijay, do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, I was actually thinking, will it be great if the DSC club itself can form the teams, but I can understand it's gonna be a problem. I checked the sheet you sent me, and there are no teams at all.
Yeah, no one, I just created it.
Okay.
Yeah, don't worry about that. Because, yeah, after this event, I see people are on it, so they'll add their names soon. So if you want to start it, you can like add your name, and people who don't have a group yet, they'll just add their name under yours. Does
Sure.
that sound all right?
That sounds like an idea.
Yeah, awesome. Do you have any other questions?
No, thank you.
And are you on our Slack channel?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Yeah,
Thank
so if you do have any questions in the future, feel free to shoot me a text and I can answer it.
Sure. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank
Yeah.
you. You too. Bye.